of the weekly rounds, and Hull Kingston Rovers ahead 22 points to 12 at half-time against the Warrington Wolves. Warrington must win to maintain their hopes of a place in the top 8 and a place in the playoffs in a fortnight's time. Rovers settling in 3rd place in the table.
Yes, pal. Okay, stay on.
And Michael Dobson is the man who will get the second half underway. Rovers playing into the shadow in that far corner, and the end that they are defending, bathed in late evening, early autumn sunshine. Here, a pleasant day, pleasant occasion, good conditions for rugby league, and not a bad match.
Go.
Pretty important that the Wolves get on the scoreboard very early in this second half. They've got to try to make something of it, and Anderson's made the clean break.
It is Vinnie Anderson. He has got support outside him from Riley, but Clint Newton comes across and pulls him down. Here is Lee Mitchell. Mitchell bringing it more towards the posts. Wakefield 16-10 up as we approach half-time in the south of France. Monaghan's pass. Good defence. The turnover.
I'm not so sure that they realised it was the last, but it was a wonderful break, wasn't it, by Anderson, right down on that left-hand side. And that'll be a wake-up call.
It will. Let's go down to the sideline because Rod Studd's got Brian Carney with him.
Brian, good to see you still recovering from that broken arm. What did you make of the first half?
Yeah, not a bad first half from us. We're running low on troops, really. We picked up a couple of injuries, but that try just before half-time was a bit of a sickener, and the first 10 minutes of the second half is going to tell a lot on how we're going to do in this game.
To be fair, you started well in the second period there. That was a good piece of play, almost led to an important try.
Good start, and that's going to give us confidence. As I say, I just hope that the guys we're losing to injury doesn't come and count against us later on in the game.
Thanks for talking to us, Brian.
Pleasure.
Booming kick downfield from Paul Cook. Will it make its way to the sideline? No. But it's almost as good as a 40-20. They don't get possession from any scrum, but look where they get the first tackle in.
Oh, superb tactics. Kicking on the third. Cook got himself in a position, obviously given the information from the coach, Justin Morgan. No point in just piling it on. Let's keep turning him around time and time again.
And as we made our way downstairs from the gantry to the studio, there's a real swirling wind around Craven Park, which is not evident up here on the TV gantry, Barry.
And sometimes teams kick early, and particularly when they're deep in their own half, to make those big forwards run all the way back to get behind the ball, to be in a position to take it.
Good run upfield from Mike Cooper. That's the 4th tackle for Warrington. Monaghan again is the dummy half. He scoots away. It's only as far as Jason Netherton, though. And that's the last tackle for Warrington.
Move, Daniel. Go.
Huddersfield increased the league in South Wales as Bria slides the kick in. And it's good kick, actually, as it turns out. It was only an inch or two the right side of the whitewash. But it was the right side of the whitewash.
Yep, no doubt about it. Second bounce. Kings to the right. And they'll muscle up, try to force the error.
I'm just calling surrender, sir. I'm just letting you go,
Thinking all the time, Lee Briers.
Oh, thanks.
Been around a while, an experienced campaigner.
Out!
Yes, they've won, as I said, at half-time. Their last 3 visits to Craven Park of Warrington.
Hold back. Hold back.
Smith lost his first 2 games in charge as Warrington coach, but 16 wins from the subsequent 27. And Warrington have got a trophy for the first time since 1991 in the cabinet at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. And it's Clint Newton for Hull KR, who are dark horses in many people's view for a run towards Old Trafford and the grand final. It would be wonderful to see them there, a big final.
Well, if things finish the way they are at the moment, Eddie, they would travel to St Helens in the first round of the playoffs, where they actually won this year, didn't they? Admittedly, just by the single point. The first time they'd won at St Helens since 1985. Tremendous confidence boost that, should they have to go there in the playoffs in just a couple of weeks' time.
Of course, the top 4 in the first week of the playoffs, the loser still survives. They get a second bite of the cherry. The big prize for the teams in the top 4 when they play in that first weekend is that the winners get the following weekend off. And then it really does get interesting, because every match there on in, right the way through to the grand final, is straight knockout. We'll no doubt be telling you all about the playoff format this year, which has differed because we're up to 8 teams in the playoffs, in boots and all, and in our coverage next weekend of the last round of matches. I'm sure that will be the case. Here goes Peter Fox. Gets the ball away to Briscoe. An important tackle then on him, though, by Ben Westwood. Quick play the ball wanted, and he managed to get it in the end. Westwood working really hard from marker.
Tremendous work by Westwood there. Realised that his teammates, they weren't quick enough to get the first and second defender, so he had to do it all on his own.
There's a problem
here.
here.
A real problem. It's a shoulder
problem, and the Warrington players called for the medics. Ben Cockayne has fallen heavily here.
Yeah.
Third tackle.
Monaghan, Mickey Hyam, should I say, underneath. And Carvel realising straight away that there was a problem.
Isn't that something to be proud of about our sport? The integrity means that big Gaz Carvel knew he'd hurt Ben Cockayne and stuck his hand up straight away. It's just a full-blooded big shot. I think it's the arm that he's carrying the ball in. Possibly an AC joint just at the top of your shoulder there. If you jolt that back, that can be very, very painful.
Third tackle.
We've got a moral responsibility to one another, rugby league players. As soon as they know that one of their opponents is hurt, stick their hand up and let's get some attention. Good work, Gaz Carvel.
Yes, Gareth Carvel, if you look on his CV, he's a Great Britain international twice, and he's played for Wales in the past, but the word is that Gareth Carvel would like to be considered for England this year in the Four Nations.
No, third.
I think once you make your mind up, at the risk of being on dodgy ground myself, I think that once you make your mind up, that's where you should stick. But if that's where Gareth Carvel wants to play and he's not breaking any rules, then good luck to him.
I'm reminded, Barry, that perhaps you once played for Ireland and England.
I did. I played for England before there was a professional team coming out of Ireland. Thanks for that, Ian Proctor.
Oh, so you only played for the professional team. It was the money that you were after for playing for Ireland, then? Is that what you're saying?
It was...
Yes, OK. Barry's going to just think about the answer for an hour or two. Go and find a wasp, Barry. Or if you wish to hit him on the chin, feel free.
Right, lads.
Catalan Dragons 10, Wakefield 18 at half-time. Vella for Rovers.
4. Move! Hold! Go! Time in,
Back in play. This is Colbon.
Last
tackle here for Hull KR.
Go!
Dobson with the kick.
All right.
Straight towards Chris Hicks.
Okay.
Pouched safely by the winger. Run straight at Dobson.
Pretty good chase as well.
Move!
Again, the tactics.
Go.
Justin Morgan said, let's keep boot to ball, keep turning him around.
2.
Only once have Warrington been in the attacking zone of the Rovers in the second half, and a pretty good defensive effort by Hull KR at the moment.
Westwood up the middle for Warrington.
4. Move! Hold!
Monaghan directing operations at the play the ball. Taking the responsibility on himself.
Last 5. Move,
Last one.
Hold!
Breers at dummy half this time. Gets the kick in, but straight down the throat of Sean Briscoe.
Well, that surprised me. You just don't give an easy catch for this fella. We saw earlier that Breers, a low kick into the corner. Why didn't repeat that is a surprise.
2. The thing was, Steve, Michael Monaghan was playing the ball and Lee Breers was in at acting halfback. I think it was just a case of getting the ball away where he thought there might be some space, and Sean Briscoe's positioning is first class.
Move! Go!
Rovers looking to penetrate this Warrington defence, which has been pretty solid, to be fair to them.
Go!
10 points is not a winning margin.
40.
Dobson
40.
trying to arrow the kick towards the sideline. Hicks is quick enough to pick it up, then fires the pass inside to Mathers. Mathers then gives it to Riley. Riley then gives it wide. Good play from Warrington. Tremendous play from Anderson. Keeps the movement going, but young Mitchell runs straight into our big red and white brick wall.
2.
And the name on that brick wall was Ben Galea.
Go.
Good tackle
No, it
as
wasn't.
well.
It was Jason Netherton.
Netherton got his body into it, but again, for full praise to this Warrington outfit. They looked very tired just before the half-time break, but
Morley.
with Morley back out on the field of play, he'll lead by example, that's for sure.
He's an important player for Warrington, is Adrian Morley, and I think he's had a superb season. It's now that we start talking about Man of Steel, and I think he's definitely a front runner, along with Michael Dobson and Keith Senior, who we watched last night. And I've had some of my friends in the media say the players shouldn't pick it. They will pick the person who they most admire in this competition in 2009.
Fitzhenry restarts with a tap to Peter Fox.
Good effort, full of enthusiasm, lifts the crowd, lifts the team as well.
Oh, Wellham's lost it.
That's play on, it was reefed backwards.
One-on-one.
Didn't lose it, it was knocked backwards.
Big error by Chris Wellham, scored the try right on the stroke of half-time, but now his team is under pressure from the Warrington Wolves with Mickey Hyam.
Caught it. 2. Go.
Plays the ball quickly, Richard Mathers fires the pass to Matty Blythe. Cockayne, who seems to have recovered from that shoulder injury, but he still manages to get the ball away. Over the top from Mathers to Chris Hicks, inside Peter Fox. And Hicks is grounded, this time by Galea, and also in there was Paul Cook.
Well, few of the Rovers, they're not going low, they're going far too high. They've got to go one up and one down. That's better. Good hit from Newton.
It was on Gareth Carvell. Warrington have got men loaded down the left-hand side. Breers, tackled by Vella on the last. Anderson to Monaghan. He'll hoist the kick here, looking for Chris Hicks. He finds Chris Hicks, but Peter Fox springs the trap.
It's all about composure when you're defending a kick like that. It was well weighted. Don't panic. Don't go up and obstruct anybody. Make any contact, and you see Fox just waited until he received it, and bang.
2. Move. Hold. Go.
That was Fitzhenry, and this is a run forward
3.
from Liam Colbon.
Move. Go.
Fitzhenry again. Vella straight through Hyam.
Move. Go.
Fitzhenry once more. Good run from Fitzhenry. Ball was stolen from him.
2-on-1.
Lee Mitchell, I think, is the guilty party.
Great work though, wasn't it? Fitzhenry raced away, quick play the ball. Yeah. No intention of getting involved in the tackle, just wanted to release the ball. And you could see on the 2 quick play the balls by the Rovers that Warrington are looking a little bit tired at the moment. It's been a great effort so far.
It has half an hour remaining. Here is Mick Vella on the charge for Rovers.
1. Move.
Fitzhenry waits.
Go.
Vinnie Anderson in the middle of the ruck there. That ball is lost. And here goes Richard Mathers. Briscoe deals with that threat.
Well, it's squandering opportunities, Rovers.
Here's Breers. Wellham with the tackle. Frustration for Justin Morgan.
Go.
Monaghan.
Backwards.
Went backwards.
Breers. Hicks. Inside Fox again. Galea and Cook deal with the threat.
Hold.
Matty Blythe waits. Finds Mickey Hyam. Here is Mike Cooper.
Well, the error count that's rising for the Rovers certainly is lifting the spirits of this Warrington outfit.
Hold.
They realise a quick score here, and they're really well and truly back in this game.
Morley on the charge. Spinning away Morley still. And Briscoe eventually getting to him.
Go.
Quick play the ball. Monaghan gets the... Oh, that was a try begging there for Lee Mitchell. If he'd have taken that in, Warrington were over.
And he knows it too. Monaghan skirting away from dummy half was so clever. Dragged in 4 defenders. And he knew all he had to do was just get over that whitewash and just could not control it.
Monaghan did really well to thread that ball through hardly any kind of a gap whatsoever. And sometimes when a ball ricochets off a play, you think it might be just soft hands, Monas, but I don't think there was anything wrong with the pass.
Put it in square, mate. Put it in square.
Well, since promotion 3 seasons ago, Hull Kingston Rovers have won just 2 of 7 against Warrington. Their last home league win against Warrington, would you believe, December 1992. 13-11 and in absolutely freezing conditions.
Go! Don't come up on the ball, Ben!
Now then, this is a good run.
2! Move! Go! 3!
Rovers trying to push Warrington back. Fitzhenry, Vella, taking Hyam forward, or backward, should I say.
Good work, good tactics, quick play of the ball, but again, Warrington trying to keep them slowing down.
Dobson with the kick over the head of Richie Mathers.
It's a great kick, isn't
It's
it?
a super kick. He's got to get out of jail. He's going to make it, though. Ooh, now then.
He slipped. Wasn't a voluntary tackle.
It's a good job that Richard Silverwood took the same view. I say we talk about full-backs, and we've mentioned Brent Webb and Paul Wellens we saw last night. We've talked a lot about Sean Briscoe. Richie Mathers for the Warrington Wolves. A few people probably scratch their heads wondering why on earth they bought him, but he came part of the Martin Gleeson deal, of course, which took Gleeson to Wigan. Mathers has done really well.
And so has Warrington, trying to get up and play the ball quickly, and they've been caught. I'm going to look for a moment that Warrington, looks as though they're getting very tired, but I'm afraid it's becoming a frustrating time for the Rovers, the home side. As I say, score here from the Wolves, and it's game on.
Go!
And here they come with Morley, the commander-in-chief, gets the ball away to Carvel. Carvel trundling it down the middle. Nicky Hyam, Monaghan, Breers, space. Oh, the pass was behind. And Mathers is in a chase with Wellen. And Fox is the quickest in the Rovers team. Fox will go all the way. Underneath the sticks. Warrington gift Hull KR another try from deep inside their own half. So quick, Peter Fox. Their top scorer, 16 tries now. He got one against Warrington in March. He got one here just a second or 2 ago. 4 tries in his last 4 outings now for Peter Fox. Probably the unluckiest man to be left at home when Tony Smith's England squad went off to Australia last year in the World Cup. But that's try number 16 for this season for him.
Well, it's a carbon copy of what happened just before the half-time break. It was a back pass from Breers. Nothing that Mathers could do about that. Well, he did well. He realised he didn't perhaps have the same legs as Fox. That's the reason why he's a centre and this guy is a winger. Point right to the sticks against the run of play.
Great try from Fox. Well read by Chris Wellham. And well done, Chris Wellham, because he knew he probably would not have made it with Matty Blythe in hot pursuit. So Dobson now from bang in front of the posts. He doesn't miss those. And it's suddenly gone to 28-12 in Rovers' favour.
You know, that try stems really from Hull Kingston Rovers' defence. Warrington have scored more tries this season than Hull KR, but Hull KR are 6 places higher than them on the league table. That tells you, Eddie, whether attacking or defending is the most important part of the game. And Hull KR's ability to defend the try line and frustrate Warrington has on 2 occasions in this match forced them into throwing passes which were finally intercepted.
Inter's had another pass that was intercepted there. Mathers got a nasty bang on the head as he went for that. I think he caught the knee.
Yeah, it looked like Dobson was swinging the leg. Nice little kick-off though, wasn't it? Yeah, accidental knee, yeah. Well, again, against a run of play, Rovers have scored the try, but they will not lie down, will they? The Wolves just keep trying and trying.
Well, it's do or die for them. Managed to keep hold of that somehow. Tyrone McCarthy's inside pass was picked up by Hyam. Here is Breers, who slides the kick through, and away goes Briscoe! Still going, Sean Briscoe. Almost on his own. What a run from the fullback.
He should have got to the right, he had a player outside him, but he won't be minded, and neither will his coach Justin Morgan because they've got themselves in a good position on the very first tackle. Now then, will they panic or will they just build?
Wellham attacking the Warrington line.
Third. Move.
Fitzhenry waits for Rovers. That's Galea. Quick hands. How did Newton? Well, I was going to say, how did Newton take that in? He
They'll
didn't.
take the first knock on. And I think that was forward as well. They're just trying to force a pass. I made the point. Would they just settle down there, control the game? Here's a kick through. Wasn't the best. Briscoe says thank you. He made good ground forward, but he really should have gone to the right-hand side. He has a look, but tries to beat the full-back.
And do you know, Paul Cook was screaming for that ball for 3 plays. And when he caught it on that last play that ended up in the error, he virtually had a Warrington player up in his face. And that, I agree, was a forward pass, and that's where the error came from Newton.
Fitzhenry having some repairs to an eye injury.
To be fair to Hulkington Rovers, and I think Justin Morgan is fully aware of this, is that if they are going to really give this grand final chance a shake, then what they've got to do is make sure that they can control themselves in an area and not panic like we've seen on a few occasions throughout this game. If you get into a good field position, control it.
Huddersfield leading 18-0 at half-time at Celtic Crusaders. Remember, Huddersfield and Hulkington Rovers disputing 3rd and 4th in the table.
Hold. Go. Be quicker,
At the moment, both on course for victories, but this is a much tougher assignment for Rovers than it would appear for the Huddersfield Giants. Monaghan. Ooh!
Shot.
Oh, Chev Walker. And Mickey Hyam looked and said, where on earth did you come from? There's Breers, keeps it alive, keeping it alive.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about.
Last 5.
Blythe tackled on the last. Hicks, Monaghan, Breers. Up goes the kick. Looking for Riley out wide. Gets Riley.
5.
Comes to Carvel. Carvel gets it away. And Colbon with the tackle. Ball released. And Briscoe to the rescue again.
Hold. Go.
But again, they're not trying to towel in either these Wolves.
2.
They're working overtime.
Go.
And they're really stretching this Rovers defence.
3rd.
Now then, quick play the balls, and that's got to be a penalty.
Warrington are finding the same experience that Salford and St Helens found when they played against Hull Kingston Rovers. They're becoming a very difficult team to score points against. Only 10 in the match for Saints, only 10 in the match for Salford, 12 so far for Warrington. You give yourselves a chance, Eddie, in these playoffs. If you can restrict your opponents to 12 points or less, and Hull KR at the moment are starting to make that a habit.
This is Vella for Rovers. Fitzhenry to Ben Galea. Tried to wrong foot Morley then.
Move. Go.
Morley and Carvel though bringing him down. Dobson.
Oh, that was forward again.
Was a forward pass.
Again, they're trying to score off every occasion.
0. Move, Daniel.
20 minutes to go. They need 28-12.
0.
You know,
Game isn't won yet, though. You have to say that, Steve-O. That's why they're
that's
probably trying all the time.
Yeah, but they don't have to. They can control it. They've got a good cushion. And if they're going to have any shake, as I say, they've got to make sure that they can do that.
You're right, Steve. You only need to win the game once, although it was good defence from Warrington forcing the error. That is a forced error rather than an unforced one. But in the grand final itself, you might only get 2 chances. And unless you take a stab at them, then...
But look, Rovers have got so much talent out there in the kicking department. Just keep turning Warrington around time and time again, and the heads will start to go down.
Here's Westwood. Referee gives a penalty.
Gone right across his face.
I think it's a high tackle.
Yep. Didn't miss it either. Boy,
Cramp for Lee Breers.
That only just made it. That just got over the whitewash.
Hyam finds Carvel. Ex-Hull man will be keener than most. Catalan Dragons 4 points behind. 48 minutes of the match in Perpignan. This is Monaghan. Here is Westwood. Oh, and too high for Hicks.
Well, it's a different story for Warrington. They have to force a pass. They're chasing the scoreboard,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Very difficult skill for right-handed people to throw the ball across your body to somebody 10 metres wide of you on the right-hand side.
Keep going. Heads in, lads.
Well, they are professionals, Phil.
Well, I'm just saying that many people can't do it. Many people go through their whole career unable to do it, partly because teaching of that skill is a difficult job in itself. There are very few coaches who perhaps can demonstrate and improve players left to right passing, Eddie.
And what they might do is give the player the choice and say, it's your time for your individual skills. Whatever you want to do extra, you can do. Maybe a player might prioritise some defensive work or some footwork or whatever he thinks he needs to improve. Very rarely do you look at your left to right pass. I agree with you, Phil. I've heard you say that before.
Last tackle, good defence from Warrington here so far.
Go.
Here's Dobson outside the 40, so he goes down the middle.
And that's all they need to do. Okay, it's gone over. And it'll be a tap on the 20, but at least they can marshal up the troops, get on that 30-metre line. That's all they have to do, just continually keep turning them around.
But that really is a wasted kick, isn't it? That is a kick, a negative kick that should really not be rewarded by allowing you to line up on the 30-metre line.
I was going to make that point. Yeah, I was going to make that point. You think that's a purposeful kick?
Well, before we bring in any changes, you know, we should consider all the stakeholders involved in the game, really. We shouldn't just bring in a new idea without considering the full ramifications, and that's what I would say on that point, Eddie.
Yes, fair enough. Yes, consultation is the key.
Move, Shed! Hold!
Mathers plays the ball here. Anderson. Across the body of Carvel finds Breers, who gets it to Blythe. Last tackle for Warrington. It's been a bone-crunching match this, you know. There's been some fierce tackling, hasn't there? Great ball from Breers. McCarthy to the corner looking for Hicks, and it's dribbled over the line by Peter Fox.
And now that is something that the Rovers should have been doing through this second half, and it's Warrington that's showing them the way.
This inside pass from Lee Breers, we saw it in the first half and we questioned why Lee Breers did it, and that's why, because people come out, they try to charge the kick down, and he's smart enough to recognise that, Lee Breers.
And he knows that they are now controlling the game down to that end. Okay, the clock is against them.
The difference between the two sides, I think Hull KR have got a few players that can run the full length of the pitch. I don't think Warrington have, you see.
Yeah, Michael.
Well, you take away the two race-away tries against the run of play, and boy, we would have had a real ball game.
Just the one score in this second half. It's gone to Rovers. They lead by 28 points to 12. Here goes Carvel. Such a willing workhorse, isn't he, Carvel? And Rauhihi is back on the field as well. Probably playing out the latter stages of a distinguished career is Paul Rauhihi, 17 times a Kiwi international. Morley out the back door. And again out the back door to Rauhihi! He's turned over on his back, but hasn't got it down.
No, he has not got it down. That's a shame, because that was good play by Warrington.
Well, it's a decision for the video referee to make. Phil Bentham again.
But what about the offload by Adrian Morley? It looks as though it was dead. I don't think he's got this down.
It's a shame for Paul Rauhihi and all.
Yeah.
Missing out on a final is a big disappointment. He'll probably be the most motivated player in this stadium. I agree with you, Steve. I don't think he manages to get that ball down, but a couple of quality offloads there from Warrington.
Is that the tackle of the season from Chris Wellham there to deny a try? Look, he's over the line, he twists and turns his body.
Yeah,
that is a fantastic effort there from Chris Wellham. That's as good as an 100-metre interception. He scored one and he saved one.
Fantastic stuff. Fantastic try-saving tackle from Chris Wellham. I think we know what this is going to be from Phil Bentham. And the tackle count will restart.
It's good technique and all that. Many times you see people trying to push opponents over the try line when all you have to do is...
Oh, hang on, Chris Hicks. This one will count, will it, or has that been denied as well? No, it's given. Chris Hicks, it delayed the inevitable, that's all. Chris Hicks gets the try to almost silence in this stadium. Well, you do have to feel sorry for Chris Wellham, don't you? He put all that effort in to hold up Paul Rauhihi, and in the very next play, Warrington worked the ball down the right-hand side, and Chris Hicks comes in for his 16th try of the season, a try in 3 of the last 4 prior to this.
And fully deserved as well. It was a good switch to the blind side. Couldn't stop him on that occasion. And this has been a marvellous effort, you know, by Warrington. And this needed scoring, didn't it? He got it down eventually.
Breers to try and add the extras, just shaves the post the wrong side. 28-16. Still 2 tries away, 2 converted tries, Warrington. And Breers limping a bit. But there's the try scorer, Chris Hicks.
Beautiful switch, wasn't it? Hyam realised that they were just a little bit asleep on that short blind side. Took some scoring. Fair play to this fella.
Yeah, mate.
So Rovers restart with Dobson's kick. Monaghan's underneath it. Here comes Carvel again. Good strong run from Gareth Carvel.
Justin Morgan will be very disappointed by that. He knows at half-time he should have had this game won. 22-12, a 10-point lead against a tiring Warrington outfit. And to be fair, they should have bossed the game. They should have controlled it. They should have been building in their confidence for the playoffs. And instead, all they're doing is putting a bit of a doubt in their mind. That was forward anyway.
But I think we're not giving enough credit to Warrington here. They've turned up to play, Steve-O. They're not feeling sorry for themselves, and even though they're making errors, it probably just caught the thigh of the guy that played the ball there, and that's why Richie Mathers couldn't regather it.
No, I'm with you, Barry. They have really turned up today.
Barry, you've used the phrase a couple of times tonight about we shouldn't feel sorry for Warrington. They're not turning up here feeling sorry for themselves. They won the cup. Why would they feel sorry for themselves?
Because you've already got an inbuilt excuse to lose, Eddie, in many people's minds, and we've all done it tonight. We've talked about, well, Warrington won the cup last week. You nearly hit me with that then. There's another wasp here. Are we on a wasp nest here or what?
It's a hornet's nest, I think.
As I say,
Steve goes white every time one comes up here.
He nearly hit me with that. I think he's trying to hit me before I hit him. Need to get my retaliation in first.
Gallia nearly through.
Go.
This now is Vella.
4. Move.
Daniel Fitzhenry waiting at dummy half here. Gallia again. Can he get the ball away? He's trying to.
Did well to hang on to that.
Warrington are saying that was a knock-on. The referee said it went backwards. Fitzhenry, Dobson, short ball, Newton, second try. Well, they won't die wondering when they get to the playoffs, Hull KR. There's no question of that. They've shown what they can do on defence for long periods tonight, and they are showing what they can do when those passes stick close to the line. Clint Newton's second try, and that really should be curtains for Warrington.
Quick thinking on that blind side. Sean Briscoe, he's had a fine game as well. Beautiful stuff. Or should I say Dobson with the final pass to Newton, and the look on the face when he scored was of sheer relief, because they know that they really should have put this game to bed a little bit earlier than this, but that's important now. It is.
1 from 15 metres, 1 from 3 metres, but they all count for the same 4 points. Dobson, can he add the extras now? And Dobson does. Slides the kick over. 34 points to 16.
Well, we might see a smile appear on the face of Justin Morgan, because that was a fine effort. Nice little option on that short blind side. Dobson controlling things. Give us a smile, Justin.
He doesn't smile very often during the course of the game, though he did smile at the first try, didn't he? But he might not smile now at this. This is Vinnie Anderson. Short kickoff has paid dividends for Warrington here.
Well, that's the second occasion they've come on trumps.
Move. Hold. Go.
Paul Rauhihi, back it goes to Breers. Breers then to Hyam. He managed to get the ball away to Matty Blythe. I think Matty Blythe's got that down.
He has. This is a wonderful effort by Blythe.
Tackle 2.
And I think he's done himself an injury as well. This is a try. That is wonderful. From the short kickoff. Well, I requested a smile from Justin Morgan. He won't be smiling over this. There's
that's not a try.
Has he not it?
It's lost.
Well, isn't it amazing from a different angle? Yeah, that is a shame. It's a knock on. So time and time again, Warrington will not be denied. Is it knocked out? That's what they're trying to find out. I don't think it's going to be a try awarded.
Head on, it looks a try for all money, doesn't it?
And then you do it from the other end, yeah.
Michael Vella's attempt there, I mean, he's such an athletic front row forward. Covers a great distance to put Blythe under pressure, and he can't make the line.
Well, 3 times Warrington have had tries denied by the video referee. Hyam, Rauhihi, and now Blythe.
1.
But as I say, you add to the point that Hull KR have scored 2 runaway tries, one 175 metres, one maybe nearly 80 metres, against the run of play. And Rovers can be looking at this game and say, hang on, we could have lost it.
Sorry, Tyrone, not square.
Catalan have hit the front against the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. 55 minutes to go. And Catalan Dragons still very much in the hunt for a top 8.
4.
Wakefield, of course, they're already secure. They are in the playoffs, but it's Catalan and Castleford. Warrington will disappear after this, and it's then between Castleford, Catalan and Harlequins. I think I'm right. I've got to get the fingers out, the abacus, the slide rule, the memory, which isn't the greatest, but I think that's right.
Get the wasp spray out, never mind the abacus.
So it'll be 3-2 after tonight. Is that right? I think it is, isn't it? I think that's right, Ian. Ian Proctor just looking for confirmation. Depending on how the results all go. I tell you what, let's all buy a Sunday paper and find out in the morning. Or watch Sky Sports News tonight and find out later on.
1. Move, cling, hold.
Well, Morgan, the coach, has to get the message out now and say, listen, just show to yourself that you're confident, keep your one line of defence pretty solid.
Go.
Not relax. There's a lapse in concentration. A time. Cook was away and he knows it. He was a gift. Just couldn't drag it in. Boom. Oh.
10-man clap.
Well, he's smiling, but if it is a drop ball so close to the end of a very important playoff
back on, ball in.
match, he won't be laughing.
Ouch.
34-16 though, they have every excuse to smile. It's been a truly remarkable year, hasn't it, for Rovers? 11th 2 seasons ago, 7th last year. They just missed out on the playoffs. They were hell-bent on making the playoffs in 2009. Mission accomplished, but now they want to shake up that playoff system this year. And the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats hit the front in Perpignan. Don't forget, you'll be able to see extended highlights of that match in the morning, as well as the best moments of this.
And again, some wonderful defensive work by the centre, Chris Wellham.
He did well to get that away, Ben Westwood, didn't he? Here's Hicks again.
4. Move.
Huddersfield 13-0 up against Celtic Crusaders. Booming pass from Breers.
Oh, he did well to keep in, didn't he?
He did, Liam Colburn.
Wow, Colburn did ever so well there.
I don't think that would have pleased Tony Smith, seeing that long booming pass from Lee Breers. Here's Fozzard. Oh! Morley and Fozzard, old friends.
I think he's put his own player out. McCarthy took the full brunt of that.
Tyrone, you're right, mate.
Galea bounces off one, which was Cooper. Can't get away from the next two, and Morley is putting himself about. Here's Dobson. Wide it goes. Holborn. So much support. This is Newton for the hat-trick. Clint Newton scores a hat-trick. Hull Kingston Rovers cling on to third place. Ever present this year, Clint Newton, a real form player in the Engage Super League. And the 28-year-old has taken his tally in 2009 from 8 up to 11 in the space of, 70-odd glorious minutes here tonight for him.
He's had a fine season, and there's no better way than to prove that you're top of the tree. Great support play. He's had a big game. There's a neat pass there, back on the inside, and he is ever so pleased. They've come good at the right moment. The smile on the face says it all.
So Clint Newton's third try for him personally. Just a little bit of icing on the cake for Hull KR. No matter what Huddersfield do in South Wales, they can't get above Hull KR this weekend. And Dobson lines up the kick like his whole life depends on it. Adds the extras. 40 points to 16.
Well, anyone looking at the scoreline will perhaps think that this was an easy walk in the park for the home outfit. And it's the ability to strike from deep within their own territory that has come up trumps for them. He's had a fine game, worked hard.
2 hat-tricks this year now for Clint Newton. He got one against the Celtic Crusaders here, and Rovers haven't finished yet. They've got 4 minutes still to play.
And not only that, Eddie, hat-trick, 32 tackles on top of that. Hard work, good finishing.
And we don't always have statistics on how much push through that players get. Clint Newton, whenever you see the ball just outside on the fringes, he's shoring up it in that inside challenge. He's looking for something, even if it's just to take flies off his teammate that's got the ball. And if you do that more often than not, then at some point you're going to be there at the right time.
4. Move.
4 tackles gone. Here is Dobson. Ball on the inside to Briscoe. Halted by Ben Westwood. And Fitzhenry to Dobson. Dabs the ball down the line. Mathers has got some work to do here. He's not going to get out of jail this time. Great tactics. 3 minutes to go. They get the goal line dropout against them, Warrington. Now the big question is, when we get to the playoffs in a fortnight's time, can Hull KR rattle a few cages?
Not in the full performance that they've displayed. They have to start to understand and learn. And this man knows, Justin Morgan, that he has to get it through to his players, the likes of Cook and Dobson, who control things out there, that the kicking game and just parking themselves in an attacking position and applying the tourniquet. Turn it, apply that pressure. They've got to be able to do that when it comes to the big games in the playoff.
They come back for a repeat set here. First up, it's Fozzard with the drive forward. Carvel has got a bit of a problem. He went for the big hit on
He's
Nick
got
Fozzard. I think he's
there,
going to touch a cramp. Oh, Vella has dropped it. And also, Lee Mitchell has dropped it. So the referee will play the first knock on. Yeah, there might be a few too many errors for Justin Morgan's comfort.
Took his eyes off the ball, didn't he, Vella, there?
Having said that, 40 points to 6 up. They must be a little bit more relaxed, mustn't they, than they were, what, 10, 20 minutes ago?
Coaches will always pick holes in the performance. There's very few times as a coach you're absolutely thrilled to bits with what your team's put together, but the important thing for Hull KR is they've got through this game. As Wellham gives a penalty away, they've got through this game, and they'll have done some things and put them in place for what's coming up.
And there is a possible injury cloud, isn't there? We saw Scott Morrell leave the field, and we think it's a hand injury, maybe a broken hand. So there is a a cloud around the silver lining.
But when there's a big prize at the end of the season, we've already talked about maybe Kevin Sinfield, maybe James Graham picking some injuries up last night. You'll see those players with maybe possible season-ending injuries put themselves up for the week after, because they know at some point over the next couple of weeks there might not be another game.
Westwood did well there. This is Cooper. Warrington, you've got to give them credit. They're not packing it in, are they?
No.
The kick will just be flicked over the dead ball line by Briscoe. Goal line dropout coming up, but it's purely academic now.
He did the right
Inside
thing.
the last 45 seconds.
There's no real chance for allowing anybody to score, but deep down, Tony Smith, I think he'll be pretty pleased. I think he knew at half-time that it was going to be a hard struggle to still keep in contention for the playoffs. But they have put in a damn fine effort.
They have. He'll be disappointed, though, that this is the end of the road. They've won one of the two trophies on offer, though. It's been a great season, a remarkable turnaround, to be fair, for Tony Smith.
Well, I don't know if it's been a great season. They could finish in the lowest league position since 2002.
Yeah, but they've won a trophy, Phil, and believe me, everyone in Warrington, that's all they're interested in.
Yeah, I'm with you, Eddie. They will be
You're right, I know what you're saying,
Yeah,
Phil.
they'll be remembered in that, but it will not be any consolation to Tony Smith. Tony Smith knows that the big one is at Old Trafford. He knows that. That's what he wants, and that's what he'll be looking forward to get Warrington there at next season, perhaps.
Monahan's little shift down the line was looking for Riley, but Justin Morgan is the man who moves on to the playoffs. Warrington's Old Trafford dream is over. 40 points to 16. Credit Warrington for the effort that they put in. Credit them for the fact that they turned up here and they didn't simply roll over and die. They scored 3 tries themselves, but it's 5 successive wins now for Hull KR. And here's the man of the match, inevitably, the hat-trick hero, Clint Newton with Rod.
Clint, well done, man of the match, just getting your breath back. I think a lot of people thought this was going to be easy for Hull KR tonight, with Warrington having won the Cup a week ago. Just honestly, how tough was it out here tonight?
Oh, whoever thought that's kidding themselves. They're a good side, mate. You don't win the Challenge Cup if you're a poor team. They're well coached. They've got probably one of the best packs in the competition. And Adrian Morley has probably been the best prop all year. So it was a great victory for us, and we're really happy with that.
Yeah, you're just one win away from clinching 3rd spot now. If you win at Wakefield, you've got it. How much of a goal is that for the boys?
Oh, it's massive. You want to go into the semi-finals on winning terms, and to have a good performance against Warrington, I think, is crucial for our semi-final campaign.
Well done on the hat-trick of tries. I think Louis Anderson will remember that handoff for a long time. Just tell us where your £100 to the charity of your choice is going, Clint.
It goes to Hull Youth Depression and Suicide. I think it's a great cause, and hopefully the government can get behind it. And I'd just like to say good day to everyone back in Australia, my parents, my grandma, and all the boys in Newcastle and Melbourne.
Good on you, Clint.
Thanks, mate.
Clint Newton, well deserved as man of the match. He played his full part in this, a hat-trick of tries in a 40 points to 16 victory, and again another good crowd here, over 8,500 to watch, and the place will be bursting at the seams come playoff time.
Well,